Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Mount Zion, 144K. Another Shabbat class. As you can see at the title of the video, we're continuing where we left off last week. Last week we went over the flood, all details that went down with the flood. Hopefully that was edifying for those who tuned in. We're just going to go ahead and jump into it. We're going to get in a little bit, as you can see, a little part of Babylon, the genesis of Babylon, how Babylon started, how it got its name, things like that. And then one of the first accounts we get from one of our forefathers, Abraham. So we're going to get into that really quick, starting with Genesis 10. Let's see. Genesis 10 reads, "Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons were born after the flood." So this is everybody after the chosen seed, the righteous family, Noah and his sons and their wives were chosen to live through the flood. This is the beginning of post-flood, and I guess we can go ahead and start getting into that. Since we're going to get into Abraham, we're going to start seeing the beginnings of the chosen seed line. But for now, we're just going to get into the overall descendants of Noah. So it says the sons were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Unto them were sons born after the flood. It says the sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. And it says into the sons of Gomer was Ashkenaz and Riphath and Tagmarah. So as you can see, just a quick little sidebar really quick, because this video really shouldn't be that long. So hold on one second. We got a brother got to add real quick. Shalom, brother. All praises.
Shalom, all praises.
Shalom.
Brother Paya Allah on the scene. Was just getting into Genesis. We just made it to verse 2, so you didn't really miss anything. Genesis 10, last class, we went over the flood. Just a quick little recap since the brother just getting in. Last class, we went over the flood, how that came about. We made a clarification for those who didn't know that there were 7 clean animals, 7 of every clean animal on the ark and 2 of every non-clean animal on the ark. The common misconception that people just think it was just 2 of every animal. So, cleared that up, went through some other things. Bible clearly states that everything that was not on the ark died. So any sidebar book that brothers want to go into that says otherwise, as far as King Og or whoever else surviving the flood, is off, because the Torah does not say that. Moving past that, there was one family who was chosen to make it through the flood and to start eventually the chosen seed line, and that's what brings us to Genesis 10, and we're starting off with the descendants of Noah. So I'll go ahead and start from Genesis 10 and 1 and pick up from there. It says, "Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. And the sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Taras." It says, "And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Tagmarah." And so I was going to say, started on that sidebar of saying, as you can see, Ashkenaz, those certain people that claim to be a Ashkenazi Jew, this is ultimately where that lineage goes back to. And as you can see, those who are of an Ashkenaz tribe, or the Ashkenaz lineage, goes back to who? Japheth. We can see right here. They go back to Japheth. So in order for you to be a Jew, you have to come from this particular descendant right here, Shem. That's why if you've ever heard the term anti-Semitic, it's because they're using the term wrong. It's Shem. We are Shemites. We're Shemitic. So the proper term is Shem. So in order for you to be a Jew, the Jews, the Israelites will eventually come out of the line of Shem. So you can't be an Ashkenazi Jew because you're claiming two different descendants. You're claiming Japhet and Shem when they're brothers. You can't come from two different males. Khan?
Con.
So moving on to where were we? Verse 4. It says, and the sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Tabanim. It says, by these isles were the Gentiles divided into lands, everyone after his tongue and after the families of their nations. It says, in the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. So we see these sons are from a different brother, Ham. Now, Ham are these descendants right here are eventually gonna be all of our so-called Africans. Are So Cush ends up being Ethiopia. Mizraim ends up being Egypt. Put, I believe, ends up being in the Libya. Canaan is the area that Israel eventually takes over. So these is the original Hamites, or the original quote unquote Africans, in the for lack of a better term. So it says, and the sons of Cush, Sheba, Hivala, Sabatha, Ramah, and Sabatecha. I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it, but we're gonna move on. It says, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. It says, and Cush begot Nimrod, and he was a mighty one in the earth. Now we're getting to the story of Nimrod. Now Nimrod is ultimately where we can trace a lot of mythology and a lot of idolatry and a lot of source of a lot of other nations' idolatry. Basically, comes from Nimrod. They say that Nimrod's when he died, his soul went up and then came back down into a tree. And then they would take the soul, they would take the heads of the conquered kings, and they would hang them on those trees and put presents under it as an homage to Nimrod, because his spirit lived in that tree. And that's the whole ceremony of Christmas. You hang ornaments on the Christmas tree, you put presents under it in homage to some god, and then you bow down in front of the tree. You see what I'm saying? So that event, that in its inception, came from Nimrod when Nimrod passed away. Going on here in verse 9, it says, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. It says, before it was said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. It says, out of the land went forth Ashur, and built Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah. It says, and let me move up here. And Rasim between Nineveh and Calah, and the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Liddim, and Anabim, and Lebanim, and what is that? Nephruhim. It says, and Casruhim and Casluhim. It says, out of them came Philistim. It says, and there's a precept I want to get for Genesis 10 and 14 that shows that this is the same. This word we see right here is the same as the Philistines. So basically, these are the progenitors or the forefathers of the Philistines that will be in the close to the land of Canaan. It says, and Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite. It says, and the Adverite, and the Zedmarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of Canaanites spread abroad. So yeah, that lets you know that these are all Hamites, all further down the line, sons of Canaan as well. It says, these are the sons of Ham after the families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. So they're basically being put in their inherited land, so to speak. If I can find a picture really quick, I'm gonna pause for 1 second so I can show. So I can show really quick what this would look like. So I can show what this would look like as far as the land being divided up between the three brothers Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Those who may not know, so we can get a quick visual here. Slack it 1 second while I pull this up. Okay, this is a little bit better one. I like this one. Okay, so let's pull this up. Share the screen. If anybody got any precepts on this while I'm looking for this or pulling this map out or anything like that, just feel free to pull them out. Just waiting for this to load. It's taking a second. There we go. Geez, I can't zoom in. Okay, maybe I don't want to go to that then. That's the right map I'm looking for, but it wants to act retarded, so. Let's see. All right, so as we can see on the map here, there's pretty much all the same as you can see from every map. Shows you what it's talking about. So when it's every brother's land being divided up by their tongue and whatnot, that's what it's talking about. We have Ham over here in what we would call today Africa. We have Shem in the land of what we would call, what do you call that over there now? Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabia Peninsula, and then we have Asia, the Asian area, up into Russia being the Japheth area. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. As you can see right there. So this one, same thing. They want me to use a Pinterest so bad. Okay, so just a quick visual on that. We're going to keep reading. Where did I leave off at?
Verse 14.
14?
That was the last
no, slack it. I left off on 19. Or 20, actually. So we're going to go ahead at 21. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber. Now, Eber is actually, if you go in it, that means Ibar, or Hebrew. It means the crossover. So we'll get, that's like comes later when, we get to the children of the crossover. When you look at the land, you'll see why the Israelites would have to cross over a couple times. We'll get into different, maps and things like that a little bit later as we go down and get to those things later in later breakdowns. Let's see. Children of Ebal is a brother of Japheth the elder. It says, even to him were born, or were children born. It says the children of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Aphrodax, Lud, and Aram. It says the children of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gethar, and Mash. And Akradath begot Salah, and Salah Eber. It says, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name one was Peleg, and in his days were the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So brothers who do really deep studies, they know about these two, Peleg and Joktan. Joktan, there's There's pretty good stories out there that you can look up. I'm not gonna get too deep into that now, but if you look up the stories of Joktan, you can find some pretty good interesting stuff on that. Peleg as well. Just that's like I said, he starts the seed line from Shem. Obviously Eber, and we're gonna make our way down. Eventually, we're gonna end up getting into Abraham, and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and so forth and so on. But we're just making our way down the lineage here. It says, and unto Eber were born two sons, and named Peleg, and in his day was the earth divided. It says, and his brother's name was Joktan. It says, and Joktan begot Ahmadad and Saleph and Zerumapheth and Jerah and Hadmaran and Uzal and Dakla and Obal and Abamel and Sebal and Ophir and Havala and Jobab. All were these the sons of Joktan. It says, and they dwelled and their dwellings was from Meshah, and their goest unto Shofar, the mount of the east. So it's giving you basically the outline or some what did they say? Some landmarks, some physical landmarks that you should be aware of. That's how we're able to come up across these maps and determine whether they're accurate, because there's still historical landmarks. There's still certain rivers and hills and mountainsides and things like that you can still to this day base things off of. So verse 32, it says, there are families of the sons of Noah. These are the generations in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So after the flood, as we see here on the screen, we have Shem, Ham, and Japheth spread out in their own, for lack of a better term, inherited land. Let's go ahead and go to, let's see. We're going to go to verse 11 for those following along. 1 second. All right, so we're going to start chapter 11 here. Just want to give a quick visual. As always, let's see. There we go. Boom. So that's what it looks like. That's what we're going to get into, the Tower of Babel. And we're going to see why they built this. What was the motivation behind this and whatnot, and get into that. Since you over there with the Khan, you want to read for us, brother?
Yeah, I got you.
Khan, all praises.
We might fall at 30 or start at 31.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I gotta plug in my laptop really quick.
Okay.
All right, we Gucci. We Genesis 11:1.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1, and it reads, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said,
so the whole world was of one speech and one language. That means we're all understanding one another. We're all on one accord. So when people always say, oh, well, we should all just love one another, come together, things like that. That sounds good. It sounds good. But let's look back to history, because history is the best teacher. You see what I'm saying? If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it as well. So let's look back at history when the last time we was all on one accord and we all tried and see what happened. Go ahead. Verse 12 or 2. Sorry.
Verse 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city, and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Verse 5 reads, And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. These are the generations of Shem.
Khan, stop right there. Stop right there. So we got to deal with that with the Tower of Babel. So
quick question.
I wanted to unpack that. The last time we were together, go ahead.
Salakia, King. Quick question. So when it said the Lord, is that Yahweh Shai? That came down?
In a sense, I guess you could say that. It depends on how you want to look at it. Because if we go to Sirach, if we go like when we met, going back to Genesis 1, when you go to Sirach 18 and 1, it tells you, you know what I mean, the Lord, the Most High, does everything in general. He created everything because he created. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High don't get off his throne to do anything. So the Most High is ultimately behind everything, no matter who's carrying out the order. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But when you see all caps right there, that's Yahweh.
Khan.
Let's go really quick. See right here, it's in modern Hebrew. That will be the Yahweh right there. But they say it as Jehovah. You see what I'm saying? But we know in Paleo Hebrew we say it Yahweh. So that's how it looks in the modern. Oh, Shaw, you can't see my screen.
Salakia. Yeah, calm.
Yeah, I thought I was tripping.
Slack it. All right, so there we go. So same verse. Let me go back really quick so you can see. Same verse. So you see the Lord in all caps. You can go to that and see that word right there. That's a yod right there, and that's a ha wa ha. So you say it together, Yahweh. But this is the Yiddish way of saying it is Jehovah or Jehovah. But we say Yahweh. So you can see right there, Strong's 3068 right there. It lets you know that that's talking about the Most High. All right, so so that happened. So we were all together, and nothing but wickedness filled the minds of everybody everywhere. So we built this this tower. We built this Tower of Babel, and basically they built it in as a challenge to the Most High. Basically, they said they wanted to go up and that they could pierce the heart of God or things like that. And you know what I mean? It was too much for that's why the Most High is like, you know what? Let's break up the language that way that they can't consort amongst themselves, things like that. Let's just do away with all of that. So the level of wickedness was at an all-time high, even more so than what it is now. when everyone was on one accord with one language. So when everybody tries to say we should all just be a one this, one together, one world, one system, one thing like that, this is what it reminds me of right here is the Tower of the Babel. So go ahead and finish that on chapter 11, Ak.
Khan.
Starting at verse 10.
This is the
Going
book
through
of
the descendants of Shem. I'm going to go ahead and share that on the screen really quick. Genesis 11 and 10.
Okay, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, or chapter 11, verse 10, and it reads, "These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters, and Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Ru. And Peleg lived after he begat Ru 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Ru lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Ru lived after he begat Serug 200.
Salakia, jump down to verse 11 and verse 27.
Khan. Now this is the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran.
Now, Abram is Slakia. Abram will eventually become Abraham.
Khan.
So that's why I wanted to get into this, because this is our introduction to our forefather Abraham, which narrows down the chosen seed line. So we started off with all of humanity getting dwindled down, and out of that, we have the chosen being plucked out of the darkness and the non-understanding back in Genesis. Then they're a weaver. Then they live through mankind through the ups and downs. You know what I mean? We went through that through the fall, and Most High brings the flood. We get through the flood. The Most High provides a way out. Now he starts bringing that chosen seed line, because remember, back in Genesis, there was a promise that was made that even though the serpent was momentarily victorious, there has to be a descendant of a so-called woman that would be here, that would come to defeat the serpent in the end. You see what I'm saying? So that chosen seed line is getting more narrow and more narrow. That's the reason why we're going through this lineage. I know it may seem boring for some, but then people, once you get these down and you know these precepts, or you know these chapters at least to go to, when people say, oh, so-and-so is so-and-so, or so-and-so's father is blah, 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 you'll know exactly what to go to. Or Genesis 11, I know where that lineage starts. And then you can go there and be like, well, no, bro, that doesn't even line up. You see what I'm saying? So this is a pivotal part, even though it is a little time consuming, it's a little taxing. That's why I wanted to jump up a little bit, go to verse 11, or sorry, chapter 11, verse 27, so we can get to our forefather Abram. Go ahead and pick up on 29, and then we're going to go into chapter 12.
Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 29, and it reads, "And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and
Sarai.
Sarai. Salakia.
Now Sarai will later become Sarah. So Abram will become Abraham, and Sarai will become Sarah. And we'll get the exactly why later, because it's going to give us that when we get to that point. So go ahead.
How'd you pronounce it again?
Sarai.
Sarai, Khan. And the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah,
Khan,
the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah,
Con.
but Sarai was barren. She had no child.
So she
And
wasn't able to conceive. Go ahead.
And Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, and his son's Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran.
Con. So we have Abram and his family, including Lot, getting up and moving to the land of Ur of the Chaldees. So that's what people say. Oh, that's what Abraham is from. He's from the land of Ur. He's from the land of Ur. But like I said, that's why we're going over this chapter, and it's important to know these things, or at least where to look for them, because I've seen these Egyptology brothers push off that Abraham was from the land of Ur, and then they go into the history of the land of Ur and the Chaldeans, and they try to say that Abraham is directly linked with that. Well, we see that Terah took Abram his son and his family, and then they went to Ur. It didn't say that they were born and bred in that land. You see what I'm saying? So that's just one of those things that we got to be aware of. Other than that, we finished out 32. We'll go ahead and jump to chapter 12.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1. And it reads, Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will shew thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land, and there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain.
So this key is that this scripture right here is a key scripture, because this is when the Lord starts dealing with Abraham and starts promising him the land of Israel, the land that is eventually given to the 12 tribes, and that we're gonna fight so hard for and slay so many people and all these things. And when we get to about Deuteronomy and things like that, well, as we're going into the land, this is it being promised. This is a far off. This is a promise that Abraham is not going to see. This is something that's being promised to his descendants. You see what I'm saying? It says, unto thy seed. Read verse 7 again, carefully.
And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him.
See, the promise wasn't made directly to Abraham. It says that land, this particular promise right here is letting you know that land that the Canaanites are in, or is going to be promised to the Israelites. So go ahead.
And he removed from thence unto a mountain of the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord.
Now, Highlight that scripture right there. Why? Because if you ever have to, just a quick sidebar, if you ever have to deal with proving the name of the Most High, this is going to be a key scripture, because certain people will tell you, oh, well, before Exodus X amount chapter 16 or before X about you, they didn't know the name of the Most High, and they didn't call on the name of the Most High. Well, Genesis 12:8 blows that out of the water.
Yeah, they go to Exodus 6.
Con, let's get that real quick. Just real quick. What is it? Exodus 6 and what?
It should be 3, I think. Yeah, 3.
Yep. Oh, there it is. It says, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name Jehovah was I not known to them, or by my name Yahweh was I not known to them. So it says, see right here. It says it right here. Let me see if they have the correct understanding in here. Let's just see. I want to see something. Because out of all things brothers can look up, I'm not sure. Okay, they don't have it. I don't mind it. Oh, wait. Hold up. Before I speak too soon.
Yeah, that should be it. I think.
Here we go.
Name.
Okay, so name, right? So they didn't know him by that name. Right? So name this, in this name, it could be is used as just name. Then we have renowned, fame, famous, name, named, famous, infamous, report, right? And miscellaneous is used 10 other times. So these are the main uses: name. Then we have reputation. This is where it gets interesting. Reputation, fame, or glory. The name as a designation of God, memorial, monument. So B is very, very important. Why would I say B? Because we just saw in Genesis 12:8 that Abraham called on the name of the Most High. Did he not? So therefore, it can't be the actual name of the Most High, because Abraham, like I just brought out in that verse before, that land was promised to the Israelites who would eventually come out of Abraham. Abraham didn't see that. He didn't see that land. So that was a promise that was far off. So the Israelites know the Most High by a different fame or glory or reputation than Abraham does. Why? Because the Israelites had to be shown miracles and gone through all type of catastrophic events and things like that in order for them to reclaim their heritage at that time, in order to come into the ways of the Most High. Abraham just believed off top and went in full faith. So they know the Most High by two different accords. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it means by the name when we read that in that verse. So when we get to that later, we may have to revisit and send people to this video. So that's just a little quick down on that. You got a question?
Yeah, I just want you to get Exodus 9 and just read from 14 down to 16, because that goes with the name.
You said 4 down to 16?
14 down to
14
16.
To 16. Come on. This book of Exodus, chapter 9. Verse 14, it says, for at this time send all my plagues upon thy heart and upon thy servants and upon thy people, that thou mayest knowest that there is none like me in all the earth. It says, for I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, that thou shalt be cut off from the earth. It says, in a very deed, for thou cause, though I rise thee up, for I show thee in thy for I for to show in thee my power, and that my name will be declared throughout all the earth.
So that's not his literal name being declared, throughout the earth. Yeah, they're gonna know that, but what's that mean? It goes his fame, reputation, his glory is gonna be known throughout the earth.
Right,
When
because
they
when
hear
we
about that,
read,
they're gonna be like, "Oh, Yahweh,
Yeah, I see where you're going there.
he brought his destruction. He is the God of the Hebrew Israelites, you know, but it's his glory. He wants to be what? Glorified. So that's all I got to say on that. Just in case they don't believe the reputation, fame, they don't want to rock with that, that's fine. You're still going to answer to that. But yeah, go ahead. You can continue.
Slovakia, I was trying to look for something. There's a precept. I kind of want to get into it, but there's a precept that states that after the other nations were coming to us saying how, how they wanted to follow the Most High. Like they heard like, oh, we heard all the great things that your God did, and we know that your God is real. We want to follow. There's a precept that gets into that, but I got it in my Bible, and I don't feel like jumping in there real quick. So Woody's gonna deal with that. Where was we on 12, right?
Con, we were on 12
Genesis 12
and 9 is where we left off.
All right, hold on. Let me pull that up. All right, so go ahead. You said Genesis 12 and 9?
Con.
All right, go ahead.
And Abram journeyed going on still toward the south, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. And say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. And the princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he assesses and men servants and maid servants and she asses. Am I saying that right?
Gone.
And camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai's Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why sayest thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to Salakia, I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had.
So yeah, we see Abraham got, he thought he was going to get himself into a jam and tried to, fix the situation so he wouldn't get into a jam, and he ended up getting into a worse jam, but he ended up getting out of it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the Most High is always going to make a way. So that's Genesis chapter 12, 11, and 13. Basically, we're going to get into, we're finally down to the Abraham, the Abrahamic seed line. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Isaac. We're gonna get into Ishmael. We're gonna get into Jacob. We're gonna get to Esau. All of that coming up. That's I mean. I probably let me see. I may start doing 4 chapters. Y'all want to do one more?
Con, I'm down. I'm not doing
It
nothing.
don't matter.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Do that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 13 and verse 1, and it reads, "And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called unto the name of the Lord.
Boom,
And
right
Lot
there.
also,
Slakia.
Khan,
That says it again right there, Khan. So we always want to get 2 witnesses. You don't want to just pull one precept to make your point. As you can see, just by going to the next chapter, we can see that point is backed up. Abraham called on the name of the Lord. Way before Isaac, Jacob, before the Israelites were around, all of that. Abraham was calling on the name of the Lord. I just wanted to pull that out. Go ahead.
and Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land and the length of
Slakia.
it. Con,
Read that verse again.
con. 15, right?
Con.
For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, to and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
Con. So that's another key promise that's being made to Abraham. Remember this. Because remember, his wife was barren. She can't have children.
Con.
So now Abraham's receiving this promise. You see what I'm saying? And now Abraham's going to go on full-fledged faith. You know what I mean? He believes what the Most High is telling him. And this you know what precept goes with this, huh? With the with Genesis 13 and 16.
What, just it being a promise?
Just a precept that says the same thing as Genesis 13 and 17. It's precepts we use all the time at camp. What's this verse talking about?
The promises
To who?
to Israel.
Okay. And then what about the what is the promise saying? What the promise to Israel, what is it saying? Break it down line by line. Let's read it. It says, "And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered." So what do you think this is going into?
Like, I have an answer, but I know it's just basic.
No, bro, bring it out. This is class. This is what we're here for.
Then shall thy seed also be numbered.
I ask you this: what's a precept that talks about Israel being a numerous people, like go to Hosea 1 and 10.
Okay, this is the book. Oh. You got it, Azaria?
No, you could get it. I got another one
Okay,
for it.
Okay, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10, and it reads, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one ahead, and they shall come up out of the land, for great it shall be the day of Jezreel."
Salakia, that's it. So what similarities do you see
That's a good
from
precept.
Hebrews, or sorry, Hosea 1 and 10 and Genesis 13 and 16?
That the seed will be that'll just continue to grow and grow, and that you won't be able to number or count how big Israel will grow.
All right. And we're gonna go
So
really
like I want to
quick
get
to Romans 9 and 20.
I want to get one more too.
No, hold on, that's not it. Hold on real quick. Let me find this.
Not the
Yeah, hold on.
Con.
There it is. It's 25. Romans 9 and 25. It says, as he said in OC or Hosea, which we just read, it says, I will call them my people, which are not my people, which are my beloved, which are not my beloved. So it's talking about the same Israelites. We'll go ahead and bring out what you was going to bring out.
Con. This is Genesis 22 and 15. And it says, and the angel of Yahweh called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, by myself have I sworn, saith Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld my son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. So that just shows you that we're going to be multiplied like the stars or the sand of the sea.
Con.
You won't be able to number us.
So it's a constant theme throughout. We're able to see that promise that's made to Abraham is going to be, as we see, it's like, what did it say? Right here. It says, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So this is jumping way ahead because we're in Genesis 22 and we left off in what, Genesis 13?
Con. But that just, it's a good, those are good precepts for sure.
No,
Did we finish the chapter?
No, we didn't.
All right, yeah. Let's go ahead and finish this out.
Verse 17 reads, arise, walk through the land, and the length of it, and in the land, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mam, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord.
All praises. So that'll pretty much do it for today's class. I don't want to make them too long. I know people will be getting fatigued, maybe watching videos for more than an hour. So we'll keep it there. We'll start doing 4 chapters a class. That way we can fit a little bit more in. Or we'll just, go to the spirit and stops or whatever, whatever the case. But the water for the brothers getting on. As always, anybody got any questions or anything like that, put them in a chat message, hit the number at the bottom of the screen. Other than that, Shabbat Shalom. All praises and glory Yahweh. Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach wa Malach Yahweh Shai. Other than that, all praises and glory to the Most High. Blessing be to Israel. Y'all take care. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.